fear.
Darkness.
The world needs a little light.
Was the principles of what Marvel had always stood for, which was creating a character that, yes, was powerful and fantastic, but really just like you and me.
The Ms. Marvel miniseries surrounds the idea of a teenage girl being a super fan of the Avengers, specifically Captain Marvel, and later all of a sudden starts developing powers, struggling to adapt and control them as she manages to. This new series caught a lot of people's attention as far as the storyline and just how everything was laid out, so we thought we could take a look at some of the behind the scenes moments of this show and just how everything was put together.
You know, I connected to comics because of the X-Men, and the X-Men were very diverse, and it wasn't about brown skin and white skin, it was about like blue skin, you know, and it was a different kind of story, but it still told a minority story.
And of course, some Marvel trivia for you. What year did Ms. Marvel get introduced in the comics? Leave your answer in the comments down below and stick around to the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct. In this moment here, we have one of the executive producers explain how they put the concept of the dream sequence together.
Dalal and Adil are episode 1 and 6 directors. They're kicking it off, and they really have brought an interesting visual style that is very distinct from the other shows, that also really complements what the comics are all about.
But real quick, make sure you guys check out our Instagram page linked down in the description. There's a ton of interview moments and memes, so make sure you check it out and give us a follow.
It was not only that the comic book was so good, it just felt so personal to us. Just relating to the character of Kamala, being between those two worlds, between the Western world and the traditional world. We grew up like that.
There are many moments where Ms. Marvel is sitting on top of skyscrapers or buildings and lampposts, and it's interesting to see just how they do this with the specific prop they are sitting on or hiding behind, and the rest of it is just a blue screen.
When we talked to our agents, we said, hey, yo, is there any, we're gonna do a Muslim superhero for Marvel maybe, and then said, hey, actually they're doing it. And that right away we thought, holy.
Kamala Kahn actually revealed the moment that Kevin Feige called her and accepted her audition.
And I download the app, I get on and I just open my phone, it's Kevin Feige's face, and all the producers and the director is on the call, and my friends are watching me from the car, they don't know anything. I'm roaming around her driveway, and then Kevin's saying, it was unanimous, we want you to be Ms. Marvel, and I was like, okay.
Did you know that you had a chance at getting the part? Can you feel it when you're auditioning, or you're like, no?
I mean, now that I have it, I can say yeah.
I know. But also, your character is a big fan of the Avengers, and so are you, in real life. You know comics, you know Marvel.
I know everything. I used to make little Avengers nail art before the movies would come out. Very active on all the Reddit forums, still am.
And we actually get to see some parts of that screen test.
Iman is Kamala Kahn. She was absolutely meant to play her, and we saw that a year and a half ago, the first time we brought her to LA for that screen test. I mean, it was just so clear she knew who this character was to her core.
And of course, we wanted to give a shout out to our Marvel Monday winner. If you guys didn't know, we asked a challenging Marvel related trivia question over on our community tab. You answered it correctly, and you get a chance to have your answer featured here in one of our videos. Before signing on to direct Ms. Marvel, Yasmeen was familiar with Kamala Khan's story in the Ms. Marvel comic books thanks to her daughters. She explained, I had been a fan of the comic books, my daughters read the comic books, so I was familiar with Kamala Khan and her world, but of course when I began to work on Ms. Marvel, I sort of did a deep dive. One important thing Yasmeen wanted to make sure came across in Ms. Marvel was Kamala's voice and having the audience fall in love with a very authentic Pakistani family, which it looks like they were spot on with this.
She breaks a lot of the stereotypes for hijabi girls, which I loved immediately about the character.
We are campaigning.
For Nakia, vote for Nakia.
Vote me into the boss.
I think that what's so amazing about this series is that everybody will be able to see
themselves in somebody.
Just like Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, the effects are similar in terms of the visuals on screen. Ms. Marvel's co-director discussed creating the show's distinctive aesthetic and special effects usage, saying, quote, "We were so heavily influenced by the comic book and we really wanted to have the comic book aesthetic in the show. And it was not really present in the script, so it was not really a concept. It was something we came up with. We were a bit afraid that Marvel wouldn't do that because it's totally different than all the other shows. So we really tried to present this presentation to Kevin Feige to show that with this animation we can go inside her head, her fantasy land, and her imagination."
Kamala is like, she's kind of been alone for a lot of high school. Like, she's been around a lot of people, but there's never been someone who fully understands her or, you know, what she goes through.
And for our trivia question, Carol Danvers, the first character to use the moniker Ms. Marvel, first appeared in Marvel Superheroes number 13 in March of 1968.
In the middle of rehearsal, me and Iman literally like stopped and we're just like, what the hell? Like kids in a candy shop. That is the coolest thing ever. It was not hard to feel like a red dagger that day.
You know, Kamala came looking for answers and she ends up finding this 17-year-old, and in the script it's with his sexy hair.
The 11th episode of Ms. Marvel's Behind the Scenes show many moments and behind the scenes stunts between Iman and Armas, and what she had to go through to prepare for this role. Armas Knight, who plays Kareen in the series, had an advantage because he was trained in martial arts for a previous role.
I think that we can talk about Kamala and Kamran.
I mean, I will give him credit for the shirtless scene because we shot that on the coolest night in the middle of Atlanta.
It was
all of us were freezing and he had to have his shirt off. They like heated the pool for him.
Yeah, it was -1 degrees outside.
Despite debuting during a heavily populated time for Marvel content, Ms. Marvel stood out against giants like Thor: Love and Thunder and all the anticipation surrounding Marvel Studios' San Diego Comic-Con presentation. News had recently broke out about a second season, actually.
Wanted to always have parallels between her world in Jersey City and then Karachi. It's based on truck art in Pakistan.
Speaking with comicbook.com, Ms. Marvel cinematographer Julies O'Loughlin noted neither he nor director Shameen has heard of plans for a second season.
I don't know what casting calls look like, but I'm like obsessed with Marvel, obsessed with Miss Marvel, read all the comics in high school, dressed up as her on Halloween.
This is you on Halloween, by the way.
Yeah.
This is, so I mean, this is unbelievable that it's actually real and happening. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. How cool. And I love your aunt, by the way, and send you this thing, and this is it, casting search for Ms. Marvel.
Is that not a scam?
Like... I mean, it looks, yeah.
There's Kamala.
Even bed sheets, like would she really have those kind of bed sheets? Would she have these curtains in her room? Would the curtains be from her mother? Because her mother probably told her, here's your curtains, you know, versus her picking them.
Regardless of the lack of season 2 confirmation, O'Loughlin emphasized that he would be among the first to clock in if more Ms. Marvel comes in the future. I would love there to be a season 2 because I think season 1 was so much fun and such a great shake, and I think it's really touched a lot of hearts and people seem to be crazy for Ms. Marvel, O'Loughlin continued.
There are shops and people buy things as they walk, and that's the experience that we recreated for Kamala here.
Old Town is where many of the refugees first settled when they came from India.
There was a wedding ceremony scene where the cast put on a dance number, and seeing them rehearse and record for this was pretty interesting.
It's our son's wedding, and as is with all big fat Indian weddings, they really do live up to that name.
So it just felt very specific to the culture and felt really right.
So what did you guys think about all this? Have you seen this series yet, and what were your thoughts around the story? Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe with notifications on for more videos like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video.
I was wondering, considering we only see you in the trailer for like half a second or 2 seconds, and it's you with your top off.
Yeah.
Boys, excuse me?
Yeah.
You're kind of on my shirt.
Sorry.
Like, what can we talk about?
I don't know.
I mean, you look
Alan,
great.
you know how this goes, man. I don't know.